So this video addresses the topic of the narcissistic abuse healing journey, which is an elaborate explanation of what you will be going through or what you are still going through at the moment. So if you have been watching some of my content about the inner child healing, attachment wound, or the father wound, I applaud you, because all of the topics, they need to be integrated in the journey of someone who has been in a narcissistic relationship, or maybe you had someone in your family and the upbringing where there was a personality disorder affecting you constantly. So one of the things that the abuser who has a personality disorder does is keeping you in a constant state of tension in your body, in your system. And we have two different types of nervous system state, and we require a degree of parasympathetic nervous state time in order to fully recover, recharge, to recharge our energy systems. And even if you have done some healing, there might be a challenge to fully relax, and there might be some underlying guilt when you are able to relax. So there's a challenge to understand when you have fatigue from chronic overstimulation of the nervous system and when you actually feel hesitant to fully relax. And we want to address first, the most common one is this chronic fatigue with the overstimulation of the nervous system due to your upbringing or due to a relationship. We are tribal creatures, and our nervous system, they align with each other, and our chakra systems, they influence each other. Especially within an intimate relationship, we are stimulating each other's nervous system constantly. So if someone is overstimulating you in order to get reactions from you, this is typically what a narcissist does. They want reactions. They want to feel empowered, and how they actually feed off you energetically is by getting reactions. So especially when you are tired or sad and you would actually need a charge, a care from them, they're not able to give it. They maybe give you like advice, or they give you a hard time in this period as well. They're not able to allow you to receive the comfort that would get you back into an empowered state, because the empowered state is a threat to them. They cannot coexist with your empowered version, so that's why they want to keep you disaligned. And the narcissist, or the person with the personality disorder, they're constantly in a struggle. They're constantly in a battlefield between their real self and an entity. So when they are having the disorder and they are aware of it, they might be struggling as well to relax, because the entity actually doesn't allow them to fully relax. They're constantly doing things. They're constantly entertaining video games, films. They're consuming a lot, or they're playing some form of mind games. They're harassing each other's judging other people. That's typically what the entity does when it's like kind of sleeping in the person. It's like not fully acting out, but then it requires the other person, the person with the narcissistic personality disorder, to be constantly on the eggshells, because if the narcissistic person would actually recharge itself, the entity might not be able to coexist anymore. So in a relationship with a narcissist, there's three people, or let's say three energies, and one is a foreign energy, but the person is somewhat still identifying or was not able to fully detach from this entity. So what can you do in order to heal from this? One is this information. I believe that the truth about it will actually set you somewhat free, because when you know that this person, they struggle with an attached entity and they are not they are not having yet the energetic power to dissolve this connection. And that is stimulating you in a way, is triggering you and is poking you in order to keep this attachment. So constantly being in a way poked, not cherished, not valued, but then when you're having this small devaluating comments, when you have this a lack of self-esteem that starts to linger in, or maybe they actually trigger old self-esteem problem, old confidence problems, then you need to look at them. Because also these wounds, they don't allow you to fully recharge and recalibrate. So when we have an alignment between our subconscious mind, our identity of worth, of being worthy, when we have someone who creates a wound, hurts us, humiliates us, when we go into the parasympathetic state, we recover. And we can also recover without significant healing. Because when our overall self-identity is, I'm worthy, I am honoring myself. And when you go out of the stress response of the system, the body recalibrates itself. You go back into the feeling of worthiness. But if you haven't had this self-identity and this subconscious beliefs due to your childhood wiring, then it requires a deeper healing. But inevitably, if you are overstimulated in the nervous system, it is required that you go into the relaxation much more often during your healing period, because you require additional resting time to recover from the wounding that you didn't dissolve at the time where you were hurt. And especially when you had years of this chronic overstimulation of the nervous system plus emotional wounding on a regular basis, it requires more rest. And for narcissistic abuse survivor, it can be very difficult to actually enter deep relaxation periods. So I want to give you a few examples to get there. Me personally, I use sports at the beginning subconsciously to enter resting periods. I had regular exercise routines to actually shift into rest because I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder without knowing it. But I realized that exercise, cardio and strength exercise gives me enough exhaustion to then fully relax. The second thing that I started to do was a lot of yoga, and through yoga my nervous system started to heal naturally, and this chronic exhaustion started to heal over time. The third thing which I recommend highly was yoga nidra. When I became a certified yoga teacher, I started to do it almost daily, which was a 20-minute yoga nidra practice, because this overstimulation starts to rewire itself into a deep healing phase with the subconscious mind as well as the astral body, and your nervous system starts to recalibrate itself in a very unconscious manner. So this is a method that has been proven and significantly impacted my well-being. I hope it does it for you as well. So if you start to recalibrate your nervous system on a daily basis without healing the underlying wounding, then you're postponing the actual healing. But healing from narcissistic relationship takes some time, so I would really recommend do it in gradually, but you have to look at the wounding. And you have to also gradually shift into a more healthy balance between being energized and being resting. And a lot of narcissistic abuse survivor, they can be very good performers. They can overperform at work because their nervous system is wired to stay strong even when there's constant chronic stimulus and chronic stress, because the nervous system was trained in the relationship to stay focused even when there's significant amount of turmoil around. So this is not a normal human state. You have to understand that the stress level that you were accustomed to shouldn't be that way, because your nervous system will seek, again, similar situation because of just being used to it. And we don't want a relationship and the future relationship to be a stress factor in our life, nor do we want a chronic stress factor in all areas of our life, whether that is a family situation or a friendship or work or whatever life pillars. These life pillars should be recharging. So we have this chronic overstimulation of the nervous system that when we know we have it, especially with the people who already have a diagnosis in post-traumatic stress disorder or even complex post-traumatic stress disorders, please take the time to actually do this nervous system regulation exercise. You can search that online, practice it every day, because what happens is also these entities that you were exposed to, they try to spread, they try to get access to other people as well. And that's why we often see or we hear when people are talking about narcissism from a psychological perspective, they think that this person wants to create a narcissist, that a narcissistic parent wants to create another narcissist. In my view, from how I see it, how I felt it, how I see it with my intuitive eyes, this is the entity that tries to spread. And if you have trauma in the body, it can somewhat also attach to you. You can prevent this from happening, especially when you have it in the ancestral line, is nervous system regulation. So there's a simple practice of 5 minutes shaking, 5 minute forward fold, and doing a sound salutation. This will already regulate your nervous system. Tapping exercises as well. So these were very practical tips. I will follow up with some more content on how to heal the underlying wounding on the energetic and emotional level. I hope this video helped you. So please follow me for more content.